William Penn was an English writer, philosopher, and the founder of the Pennsylvania colony in the United States. He is best known for his advocacy of religious tolerance, democracy, and fair treatment of Native Americans. Penn was a Quaker and used his position to promote Quaker ideals, including peace, equality, and freedom of conscience. His most significant contribution was the establishment of Pennsylvania as a haven for religious freedom and his drafting of the Frame of Government of Pennsylvania, which laid the foundation for democratic governance and rights that influenced later American political thought. Penn's writings often focused on the moral and spiritual principles of Quakerism, social justice, and the importance of peaceful coexistence. He was also an early advocate for the separation of church and state, believing that religion should not be enforced by law. His work and ideas laid the groundwork for the later development of democratic principles in America. His legacy as both a writer and a political leader remains influential to this day. William Penn's life offers several important lessons that are still relevant today, particularly regarding freedom, tolerance, and the value of ethical governance. Here are some key life lessons drawn from his life and writings. 1. The power of religious tolerance. William Penn's legacy is strongly tied to his commitment to religious freedom, which was revolutionary at the time. As a Quaker, Penn experienced firsthand the intolerance of the Church of England, which led to his imprisonment and harassment. His personal experience with religious persecution shaped his belief that people should be free to worship without fear of punishment or discrimination. When he founded Pennsylvania in 1681, Penn made it a haven for religious freedom. The colony's charter promised that settlers could practice their faith without interference from the government. This commitment to religious tolerance was radical in a time when most European countries had state religions and persecution of minorities was common. Lesson: Penn's dedication to religious tolerance teaches us that true peace within a society can only be achieved when people are allowed to practice their beliefs freely. Religious tolerance isn't just about accepting different religions, it's about respecting the dignity and freedom of others, regardless of their faith. In today's world, where religious conflicts still occur, Penn's vision serves as a reminder that inclusivity and acceptance are essential for long-term peace and coexistence. 2. The importance of personal integrity. William Penn's life and leadership were built on a foundation of personal integrity. As a Quaker, Penn believed that individuals should live in harmony with their conscience, guided by honesty, humility, and truth. Even when the pressures of politics, wealth, and power tempted him to compromise, Penn remained resolute in his principles. One notable example of his integrity is the Great Treaty with the Native Americans, where Penn famously made a promise to treat them fairly, ensuring that no force or coercion would be used against them. This treaty became a symbol of ethical governance. Penn's refusal to manipulate the treaty for his own benefit, even though he had the political power to do so, demonstrated his commitment to doing what was right. Lesson: Personal integrity is the cornerstone of leadership. Penn's unwavering commitment to his moral compass, even when facing challenges, shows that true leadership doesn't rely on manipulation or deceit but on honesty, respect, and fairness. In our own lives, integrity is what builds trust and respect in our relationships and actions, whether in personal, professional, or political spheres. 3. Governance based on justice and equality. Penn's vision for Pennsylvania wasn't just about religious freedom, it also embraced principles of justice and equality. In 1682, he drafted the Frame of Government of Pennsylvania, a document that provided a foundation for democratic governance in the colony. It included provisions for the protection of individual rights, an independent judiciary, and a system of checks and balances. Importantly, it also gave settlers the ability to participate in their own governance. Penn advocated for a society where laws were fair and just for everyone, regardless of their status, and he worked to ensure that justice was administered equitably. His commitment to equality extended to all individuals, and he pushed for laws that protected the rights of Native Americans and African slaves. Lesson: Penn's commitment to justice and equality is a powerful reminder that governance must serve the people, not the elite or powerful. A just society can only thrive when it recognizes the rights of all individuals and works to create systems that ensure fairness. In today's world, we see this lesson reflected in the ongoing struggles for civil rights and social justice, reminding us that fairness should always be at the heart of government. 4. Peace over conflict. Penn's Quaker faith was deeply rooted in pacifism, and throughout his life, he consistently advocated for peace and diplomacy over war and violence. He believed that peace was not only a moral virtue but a practical one, as peaceful coexistence led to more stable, prosperous societies. Penn sought to negotiate and build relationships rather than resorting to force. One of the most famous examples of Penn's commitment to peace was his relationship with the Native American tribes. Rather than using force to claim land or resources, he sought to establish fair treaties. The most famous of these was the Great Treaty, signed in 1682, in which Penn and the Native Americans exchanged promises of mutual respect, marking one of the few peaceful agreements in early American colonial history. Lesson: Peace is often a more powerful and enduring solution than violence. In every aspect of life, whether personal or political, resorting to conflict should be the last option. Conflict resolution through understanding, diplomacy, and respect for others can build lasting harmony and prevent cycles of destruction. 5. Civic responsibility. William Penn believed deeply in the responsibility of each individual to contribute to the greater good of society. His vision of Pennsylvania was not just as a place of personal freedom, but also as a community where people had an obligation to act in the best interests of others. Penn emphasized that a successful society requires active participation, civic-mindedness, and mutual respect. As the leader of Pennsylvania, Penn sought to encourage individuals to take ownership of their society. He established local councils and allowed people a voice in how their communities were governed. He believed that civic responsibility was essential to maintaining a stable and just society. Lesson: A healthy, thriving society relies on active participation from its citizens. This means not only voting and abiding by the law but also taking steps to contribute positively to one's community. Civic responsibility involves promoting justice, supporting others, and working collectively for the common good. 6. Visionary leadership. William Penn was a visionary leader who looked beyond the present to create a future based on his principles. He didn't simply aim to build a colony, he aimed to establish a model society where freedom, peace, and justice were central. Penn's ideas about governance, religious freedom, and the rights of individuals were forward-thinking, and his colony became a place where these values could be put into practice. Penn's ability to inspire others to share in his vision and his willingness to take bold steps to implement that vision, even when it was met with resistance, makes him a model of visionary leadership. His leadership didn't rely on traditional forms of power, rather, it was built on principles of justice, equality, and mutual respect. Lesson: Visionary leadership is about seeing beyond the current limitations and striving toward a future shaped by one's values and ideals. It requires boldness, persistence, and the ability to inspire others to join in making a dream a reality. 7. Resilience in adversity. Throughout his life, William Penn faced numerous obstacles: persecution for his Quaker beliefs, financial difficulties, political opposition, and even imprisonment. Yet, despite these challenges, Penn never wavered from his commitment to his principles and his vision for Pennsylvania. His resilience in the face of adversity is a testament to his strength of character. In particular, his imprisonment in England for his Quaker beliefs did not break his spirit. Even though it could have been easy to abandon his ideals for personal safety or comfort, Penn remained steadfast, knowing that his larger mission was more important than his own suffering. Lesson: life will present many obstacles, but resilience, the ability to keep going in the face of adversity, is essential. Embracing challenges, rather than avoiding them, allows us to grow stronger and more determined in pursuing our goals. Resilience is about maintaining faith in one's purpose, even when the path is difficult. 8. Living a simple and humble life. As a Quaker, Penn adhered to principles of simplicity and humility. He did not seek wealth or fame for its own sake. Instead, he focused on living a life that was aligned with his spiritual beliefs. His simplicity extended beyond material possessions to his approach to leadership. Penn believed in leading by example rather than by force, and he maintained a lifestyle that reflected his belief in the equality of all people. He encouraged the settlers of Pennsylvania to live simply, value community, and avoid excess. His life was not one of luxury or opulence, but one of service to others, driven by a desire to build a better world based on justice and peace. Lesson: a life of simplicity, humility, and service can be more fulfilling than one driven by material gain. Living with fewer distractions allows us to focus on what truly matters: our relationships, our contributions to society, and our inner peace. 9. The value of education. William Penn was a strong advocate for education, believing that it was essential for both personal and societal progress. He understood that an informed, educated citizenry is necessary for the flourishing of democracy and social justice. Penn emphasized the importance of education in developing both the mind and the moral character of individuals. He encouraged the establishment of schools and believed that education should not be reserved for the elite but available to all. He also believed that education should nurture both intellectual and spiritual growth, fostering a well-rounded individual. Lesson: education is not only about acquiring knowledge but about shaping individuals who are wise, compassionate, and capable of contributing positively to society. In today's world, investing in education, whether through formal schooling or lifelong learning, remains one of the most powerful tools for personal and societal growth. 10. A legacy of peace and justice. William Penn's life and work left a profound impact on both his contemporaries and future generations. His legacy is a testament to the principles of peace, justice, and freedom. Through his actions and writings, Penn set a model for how a society could function harmoniously, based on mutual respect, fair governance, and moral integrity. His legacy also lives on in Pennsylvania, which became a model for the United States, influencing the development of the nation's values, especially in regard to religious freedom and democratic governance. Lesson: the legacy we leave behind is shaped by the principles we live by. Penn's life teaches us that the pursuit of peace, justice, and freedom is not only noble but also transformative. Our actions today, guided by these values, will impact future generations and shape the legacy we leave behind. These 10 life lessons from William Penn provide timeless guidance on how to live a principled, impactful life. Through his leadership, commitment to justice, and unwavering faith in human dignity, Penn's example continues to inspire.